Hey there, classic rock lovers, and welcome to Classic Reviews, where we review classic rock albums. And today we have an exciting treat for you. So get ready for an epic CD review that will hopefully leave you craving to listen to this artist. The CD we will be reviewing will be a greatest hits CD by David Lee Roth, simply titled The Best. The non-chronological track listing covers the very start of his solo career in 1985 till the mid-90s. And the track listing on the back is all in different fonts and font sizes. The front cover sums up David Lee Roth quite well, with the arseless leather trousers and a dressing table that has, don't know how well you can see that, do the best I can, and a dressing table that has quite a few bottles of alcohol on it. With David Lee Roth, he's not really a singer, he's more of an entertainer. The typical rock frontman would be 50% singing ability and 50% entertainer. Or you might get someone like a Steve Perry, who's maybe 60% singer and 40% entertainer. With Diamond Dave, you get 75% entertainer and 25% singing ability. Excuse me. There are a select few frontmen in the world who are 100%, like Freddie Mercury and maybe Paul Stanley in his prime, for example. Singing ability aside, though, Diamond Dave is a very creative and clever guy who's regarded as one of the all-time greatest frontmen. And when he performs as a solo artist, he certainly surrounds himself with some absolutely amazing musicians, like Greg Bissonette, who's an amazing drummer. And Greg's brother Matt later joined David Lee Roth's band and replaced the legendary Billy Sheehan on bass. Like Ozzy Osbourne, Diamond Dave certainly has an ear for guitarists, giving some legendary guitar players their big breaks, some of whom I will talk about in more detail later on. But I will mention that he had Joe Holmes tour with him, who was later a guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne in the mid-90s, and he actually gave the guitarist John Five his big break in the late 90s. And John Five, as we know, has went on to play with Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, and now Motley Crue. So the first song on this greatest hits CD is also the newest song on this CD, and it's called Don't Piss Me Off. This song was done for this very CD, which came out in late 1997, and it is a country rock type song that features some known session players. Monty Byram, I think, wrote the song, and it does feature guitar legend Steve Hunter, a guy called Freebo on bass, and Brett Tuggle on keyboards, to name a few. The second song on this CD is called Yankee Rose. This is the opening song on the Eat 'em and Smile album, which came out in mid-July 1986. The song is a tribute to the Statue of Liberty, which had just been renovated at the time for its 100th anniversary. As well as lyrics paying tribute to the Statue of Liberty, there are also lyrical references to other American symbols too, like the national anthem, the song God Bless America, July 4th, Independence, and even apple pie. The main thing that the catchy song Yankee Rose is known for is that comical talking guitar intro, which was performed by then not that well known guitarist Steve Vai. Now it's the Eat 'em and Smile album that introduced many people to the now legendary guitarist that is Steve Vai. Now you have to think of the pressure he may have felt, basically having to step into Eddie Van Halen's shoes. Van Halen in the mid-80s were peaking with the successful 1984 album with the song Jump being a big hit, etc. David Lee Roth ends up leaving Van Halen at their peak, and a film he was meant to be doing ends up falling through. With all that going on, Diamond Dave finds Greg Bissonette, who's this amazing then unknown drummer, who's since gone on to having his own amazing career. He scouts Billy Sheehan, who's this virtuoso bass player from the band Talus, and he ends up finding Steve Vai. So, with everything that's going on, they do the Eat 'em and Smile album, and the first thing you really hear is that iconic talking guitar intro on the song Yankee Rose. Only Diamond Dave would be crazy enough to do such a thing on a song. And what a way to introduce the world to the legendary guitarist that is Steve Vai. I think Steve Vai done that talking guitar thing by combining effects from his guitar's whammy bar and wah pedal. Another thing I'll say is that since this album, Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan have gone on to work with each other many times since their time in David Lee Roth's band. The third song on this CD is the title track from the A Little Ain't Enough album that came out in early 1991. This brilliant song is one of the best songs on this CD and was written by David Lee Roth and pop songwriter Robbie Nevil. Steve Hunter plays rhythm guitar, I think, and the then up-and-coming guitarist playing on this song and on the Little Ain't Enough album is called Jason Becker, and on this song, Jason Becker plays some great short breaks after most of the vocal lines, and also throws some nice arpeggios near the end of the song too. Unfortunately, a week after joining Diamond Dave's band, Jason Becker got diagnosed with ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, and that has and that has to be one of rock's greatest tragedies, really. And he never got to his full potential. With that extremely unfortunate diagnosis in mind, he managed to get through the recording of the Little Ain't Enough album, but was too ill to tour, which is really sad, as him doing a tour with David Lee Roth and having 1,000 odd people watching that young guitar virtuoso would have really heightened his career. So it's a shame that the Little Ain't Enough album featured his last real guitar work, really. The fourth song on this CD is one of Diamond Dave's biggest hits, and it's the song called Just Like Paradise. In 1988, this song reached number 6 in the Billboard Hot 100 and number 27 in the UK charts. It's a glam metal song with a laid back feel to it that some people consider as a great driving song. Even though the song features the iconic duo of Billy Sheehan and Steve Vai, the song is more keyboard driven, which did divide fans at the time, and unfortunately Billy Sheehan and Steve Vai left David Lee Roth's band due to not liking the more poppy direction that David Lee Roth was going in at the time. The fifth song on this greatest hits CD is called Big Train. This is the first song on this greatest hits CD that we hear from the Your Filthy Little Mouth album, which came out in March 1994, and it was actually produced by Nile Rodgers. This jazzy type song features Terry Kilgore on guitar, and you think it's actually from Diamond Dave's first solo album, but it's not. For the sixth song on this CD, we go back to the Eaterman Smile album for the song Big Trouble. This Van Halen-esque song is credited to both David Lee Roth and guitarist Steve Vai, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Van Halen reject song from the early 80s or something. This song features Diamond Dave attempting to do rap on this mid-paced song, and like with the Kiss song All Hell's Breaking Loose, it will never be the best or the first choice example of rap, but it's definitely not bad, and to top it off, it features one of Steve Vai's best guitar solos. For the seventh song on this greatest hits CD, we go to the Bob Rock produced A Little Ain't Enough album for the song called It's Showtime. This rather chaotic or busy song was written by Diamond Dave and the young guitar virtuoso that was Jason Becker. As well as sounding to the Van Halen song Hot for Teacher, the lyrics of this song basically define who Diamond Dave is, and the song also does a good job of demonstrating what Jason Becker was capable of with the flashier side. The song features some great guitar riffs, and that includes a great guitar break in the middle of the song. It's just staggering that Jason Becker pulled this off while starting to struggle with his ALS. Track number 8 is a song called Hot Dog and a Shake. Can't really think of much to say about this song, really. The song is off 1988's Skyscraper album, so it's Steve Vai you hear on this song with some very impressive guitar playing, especially the solo on this, especially with the guitar solo more on what is a goofy semi-piano number. For track number 9, we stay on the Skyscraper album for its title track. and I must admit this is one of the songs on this CD that I do really like. The main thing you notice with this song is how well produced it is, as well as some very nice playing by Steve Vai. Another thing I'll say about this song is that it's a bit on the psychedelic side and it's not a commercial sounding song in the slightest. But I can see this song being the sort that could easily be used in like big Hollywood films though. Track 10 is the song called Shy Boy, which is from the Ted Templeman produced Eat 'em and Smile album. This song was written by Billy Sheehan when he was in the band Talus. And the song is all about the musicianship, really, as well as some very solid drumming by Greg Bissonette. You get to you get to hear lead guitarist Steve Vai and bass player Billy Sheehan singing some of the most complicated bass and lead guitarist parts you'll ever hear. And Billy Sheehan has played this live in all the in the different bands he's been in over the years, like Mr. Big. And he has played it live with Steve Vai over the years as well. The last thing I'll say about the last thing I'll say about this song is that I assume the lyrics are about how different a performer can be on stage compared to off stage. Track number 11 is the song called She's My Machine. This is off 1994's Your Filthy Little Mouth album, so it's Terry Kilgore on lead guitar duties. I think this song was the main single of that album and is also quite a Van Halen-esque song compared to other songs on that album. With Van Halen in mind, this does sound like one of Van Halen's later songs called She's a Woman. I will admit though, when you do listen to the song She's My Machine, it does seem like Diamond Dave is really struggling with his vocals, especially towards the end of the song. Track 12 is the last song we hear on this greatest hit CD. That's from the Skyscraper album, I think. And it's the song called Stand Up. This rather experimental pop rock song, I think might actually be Diamond Dave's last song to make the Hot 100 charts. And I will admit it's more poppy songs like this that made bassist Billy Sheehan want to leave the band. However, I must admit I do find the song Stand Up quite a catchy song. The main thing you notice with the catchy song is that punchy digital prominent bass line, and also the rather ear candy like keyboards. Track number 13 is a fun sounding cover of an old blues song called Tobacco Road. This song is a nod to Diamond Dave's diverse range of influences and is off 1986's Eat 'em and Smile album. The lyrics I think are about someone loathing a place, but at the same time it's all the guy knows. So he wants to make Tobacco Road a better place and wants to see the place succeed, etc. Song number 14 is a cover of a song called Easy Street. This is the first of three songs we hear. That's from the Crazy from the Heat covers EP that came out in early 1985. The song is originally an Edgar Winter Group song that was written by Dan Hartman, and Edgar Winter himself does contribute instruments and backing vocals to this and a couple other songs on that covers EP. The 15th song on this CD is another cover from the Crazy from the Heat EP, and it's the song called California Girls. This is my favourite cover on this CD, and and is one of my favourite songs on this CD overall. This song was originally by the Beach Boys, and like the original song, David Lee Roth took this song to number 3 in the Hot 100 charts in the mid 80s. Beach Boy member Carl Wilson was heavily involved in this cover by helping with the overall arrangement of this song, and both he and his good friend Christopher Cross formed the background vocals too. I'll also say that in 1985, Diamond Dave was one of the biggest music stars in the world. So him doing a Beach Boys cover and getting it to a really good position in the charts did help in introducing the Beach Boys to a new audience. The 16th song on this greatest hits CD is the last cover we hear from the Crazy from the Heat EP, and it's the medley song called Just a Gigolo, I Ain't Got Nobody. Both the songs in that medley are songs that date back to like the 1930s, and the medley itself came from Louis Prima, who recorded it in 1956. Diamond Dave got this medley cover to number 12 in the Hot 100 in 1985, and it does feature a very of the time music video, if that makes sense. The lyrics, I think, are about a gigolo who deep down just wants to find true love and not love that you buy. Track number 17 is the song called Sensible Shoes. This is off 1991's A Little Ain't Enough album, and it's more of a country type song that sounds similar to the wrestler called Diesel's WWF theme. Even with his limited vocal range, etc., it's songs like this that prove that Diamond Dave's quite a versatile singer, and he pulls off his slower country type song quite well. But just for the record, he can also sing them faster rock songs quite well too. As well as singing in that deeper and lower voice, he also plays the harmonica in the song as well. The third to last song on this CD is called Going Crazy. This is from 1986's Eat 'em and Smile album, so this rather fun sounding catchy song features great musicianship all round really, from Billy Sheehan, Steve Vai and Greg Bissonette. I think this song was meant to be the title track for David Lee Roth's film project, but nothing came off in the end. Anyway, this song sounds like it could have been on Van Halen's 1984 album, but with the film project thing in mind, it actually could have easily been on the previous Crazy from the Heat EP. And by the way, that exact line is mentioned in this song in the chorus. The second to last song on this CD is the more laid back song titled Ladies' Night in Buffalo. This is from the Eat 'em and Smile album, so of course it features some great guitar and bass playing as well as the drumming. The song is more of a jazz funk type song, and it features David Lee Roth singing in a more softer style. And like with the song Sensible Shoes, just goes to show how versatile of a performer he was. And in the song Ladies' Night in Buffalo, he pulls off the softer type singing quite well. The last song on this greatest hits CD is called Land's Edge. This rather bluesy song is off 1994's Your Filthy Little Mouth album, so it's Terry Kilgore on guitars. Not a lot I can think of to say about this song really, apart from the fact it features some great Jimi Hendrix-esque guitar playing, and the song does feature some humorous lyrics too. And overall it's not a bad closing song really. So that's the track by track done, and I must say that this is quite a diverse CD with a bunch of different sounding songs, with some being rock songs while other songs are more of a bluesy or a jazzy type. The CD does a great job of showing how much of a creative guy David Lee Roth is. He's not afraid to try different things and he doesn't take himself too seriously. Most of the songs on this CD are from the Eat 'em and Smile album, which is fair enough considering that's his most successful solo album. But I think the song Damn Good off the Skyscraper album should have been on here. Despite that omission, all the main era of David Lee Roth's solo career is covered really well here. You do get a mixture of well-known and lesser-known DLR solo material, both original songs and a few of his known covers. If you know who David Lee Roth is and you like listening to a wide range of music like I do, then I strongly recommend you listen to this CD. So that's a wrap, folks. We've reached the end of our captivating CD review journey. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our upcoming reviews, etc. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. This is Classic Reviews, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.